Good morning. Welcome to the Smart Life Club. This is the Coffee Break Show, and I'm Vickie Helm. I am so glad you're on today. All the coffee outlaws this morning hanging out. It's good to see you coming on board. Hang on. Always begin a show with a sip of coffee because that just gives you the juice to go on. It's Wednesday during the week, and I am going live today. Very excited. If you're new here, welcome to the Smart Life Club. And this is the Coffee Break Show. We go Monday through Friday. We go from 10 to 10:30. We go ahead and we share insights. We share motivation. We share all kinds of things so that we can go ahead and have a better quality of life and help everyone thrive. We share all our knowledge, all our insights, all our thing. And today, I'm going to come clean. I'm going to tell everybody everything. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Tina. Nice to see you on. I'm going to tell everybody everything right today. In fact, I even made a diagram for today so that we could go ahead and get this party started. I have gotten this question a bajillion times, and so I'm going to talk about it. Good morning, Peter. Let's see. Hi from Panama City, Florida. Well, you're out and about in the warm areas. Good morning, Scott. Nice to see you on, which means Donnie should be on in a minute. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so glad to see everybody on. Today, I want to talk about the things that are important to me and how I built my wealth and how I built my income streams that help me have money inside of what I'm doing. And I've been doing this for decades and decades and decades. And so I tried to get a small set and say, okay, how can I explain this in a way that's going to make sense to everyone? How can I explain what I do? How can they share what they do? What do you do to create your passive income streams? And I don't want links to your business. I don't want to know what your, business is. I'm like, if you have a tip for creating passive income, if you have a tip, then I'm happy to have that. But I don't want it to be gangbusters about what we do. Good morning, Donnie. Nice to see you on, buddy. So today what I want to do is I want to get really clear. And the best way I thought this morning, how can I explain this? And so most people have read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book by Robert Kiyosaki. And in there, he has something called the cash flow quadrant, where the right side, you're a solopreneur or a job owner. And I'm sorry, on the left side, you're a job owner, solopreneur, and on the right side, you're a business owner, investor. And so what happens really is you want to go from this side of the board to this side of the board so that you can have more investments and things like that. And so what I did today is I thought, okay, this is the best way to explain my income. So if you make the board like this is what I call my sources of income. And this is how I do them. And I have a strategy for doing them. I have all kinds of things that I look at for doing them. But today, I'm just going to be showing you my particular venue for this. And I'm hoping you can see it clearly. I look at my skill sets, buy buttons, opportunities, and investments. Okay, so for here, I want to go over these with you very clearly because what I do this way is I like to take businesses as opportunities. Now, there are online businesses and offline businesses. So, for instance, I have had an ice cream store for the people that are in the Smart Life Club. We built an ice cream store and we built that and flipped it. And I've also had digital properties where I built online businesses and flipped it. So what do I do to get a passive sense of income? Well, the first thing I do is I evaluate what I can do that can bring me sources of income, what I can learn that will bring me sources of income, and what I can build that brings me passive sources of income. So we're going to go back up here and we're going to look at this first quadrant right here that says skill sets. And I just wrote a few of my skill sets. And I think everybody on the block needs to be able to sit down and write down their skill sets that they're good at, that they love, that they know about. When you have an idea of what your actual skill sets are, you can get to the place where you are completely in charge of how you're going to build your passive income streams. Now, do you know how to build influence? What can you learn to do as well? If you can learn to do any one of those things, you can add more skill sets there. And trust me, the more skill sets gets you more passive incomes, because we're moving into what I call the do-it-yourself asset building era. And that is very, very important. The other thing is, once I do that skill sets, this is hard to do on there. Once I get the skill sets, everybody forgets something. They only have one buy button. And what you want to have on the internet are thousands and thousands of reputable, strong, empowering buy buttons that people want to push. And most people only they make one buy button and wonder why isn't this working? So if you even go take some time and go to VickieHelm.com and look at all the buy buttons down there. All of them are relevant buy buttons. But if you don't have buy buttons in front of people, if you only have one product with one buy button, it doesn't matter whether it's a brick and mortar building or a digital business. That one buy button is competing with billions of buy buttons and billions of people who want to have buy buttons. I just want to check in with everybody because you're going here. I'm not sure what this image is, but it's a good image. Oh, Rich Dad, Poor Dad PDF. Thank you. That's good. Karen says, share this live link for your friends. Vickie Helm is sharing her personal building 7 sources of income. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So what happens when you build buy buttons? You have to look, when I strategize, when I build a site, when I build anything, I look at it and say, how can I put the buy buttons in a logical manner? So they need to see the buy button from the top to the bottom at least 7-8 times in a healthy manner. You don't want to spam them like, here's the buy buttons. But here's what I want to say. All my buy buttons don't come on one site. I have multiple sites. The next thing that I love is opportunities. Most people will not look for opportunities. And in there, the most powerful way I make money is right here, joint ventures. I co-write, co-work, co-build. Right now, I have 3 joint venture projects going on. I have a project with Peter, Anton, and Marie France. That project is getting to the point where we are automating an online system that has a store and e-commerce aspect in it, finding customers and getting people who want to have an e-commerce store as well. The second one I have going on right now, it was with my business partners. We're setting up another publishing company with a series of books I'm publishing. And we just closed a new one yesterday for a new book and a new opportunity. And here's the thing. I am not the face of every project I do. I'm not like, hi, let's go here and talk about this. Now let's go here and talk about this. Now let's go here and talk about this. I use my skill sets, and I use my opportunities, and I use my buy buttons in such a logical way that they work for me 24 hours a day. So I would rather ghostwrite the book, get the product set up, ghostwrite, put another person in front of that product and get 50% of the back end just working that way, using all my skill sets to set the product and the thing up and let it go by itself, go strictly by itself, and have somebody else represent the product or something else. And I still make money on the back end. I do the front end work. Happy to do that. Happy to write a book. Happy to get the site up. Happy to get something up. But that becomes a digital asset. The digital assets that I have, and I have several digital assets that are working and producing, I joint venture with people. You cannot be all of the projects that you could possibly talk about. Like I know right now, the thing is, if I look at Robin, everybody knows my partner is Robin. So if I take right now and I look at all the skills Robin can write about, occupational therapy, bodybuilding, weightlifting, 14ers, fitness of any kind, just fitness in any healthy way, gardening, all the things. She can't be the front face of absolutely everything. That's overexposing yourself. So when you're building this, your relationship building thing, you have to get good at knowing what kind of joint ventures you want to build. Then I build sites, because the more sites you can build, the more buy buttons you have out there. Obviously, you guys know I write books and I build businesses, but I build businesses and have built businesses, both brick and mortar and online businesses. I build them to flip and sell. I want somebody to be empowered. Like if there's a way to make digital sites that are franchises, that move that as a digital site as a franchise, I think Amazon FBA is doing that very well. Then people can have and build money. Now, the key thing is I put hours every single day studying and learning something on top of what I'm working on. And I have a team that keeps me completely in line. Now, I want to talk about my investments, because I don't want to talk about my money. Back in the day, everybody used to say, well, show us your numbers, show us your numbers. But here's what I know. When I showed them my numbers, I got a bajillion emails from people asking for money and instant messages. And even now, if I say, we made $40,000 and we made $50,000, people are asking me for money every single day online. And I know that if you ask any one of the people who are getting money online, there's a lot of people saying, I'm in a hard way right now and I just need some money. And I don't get lots of them. I get hundreds of them. So I'm going to tell you what I have, and I'm going to tell you, you can start with a small amount of money. But the best way you can become financially independent is to pay off all your debt, live below your means, and have passive sources of income. So this way you can have decision-making ability. So I want to go over here and I want to say, these are the investments I have right now. I'm not going to lend anybody money. I do not lend money to anybody. So my investments right now, I have metals. I invest in metals. I invest a lot in cryptos. I have a lot in cryptos. I have some mutual funds, but I also like this peer-to-peer lending. I don't do a lot of it because I'm a little shy at the peer-to-peer lending because I'm not really great at it, but I have a couple of companies like, Prospreneur. You want to be able to help the entrepreneurs. Like I said, I want to help the people who are helping the people. So this is where peer-to-peer lending comes in right that. I also have digital assets. And let me tell you something. I want to tell you this right now. The average person has $100,000 in digital assets and doesn't even know it. The average person. Now, let me just say this to you. If you had $100,000 right now, if you had $100,000 laying around your house and you didn't know it, wouldn't you want to know where it was? That's the whole point of understanding digital assets and what actually makes something an asset. So right here, that digital assets, and then I buy rights. I buy copyrights, PLR rights. I buy rights that I can exploit into buy buttons. So what happens is the strategy of this is my strategy. Now, this is the quickie dry version of my strategy right here. I use my skill sets and create buy buttons. I use my opportunities and create buy buttons, and then I make investments. Once the buy button is set up, the whole thing works for itself and it creates the income. And then you know where that income is done. Now, I have been doing this for 10 or 15 years. I remember building sites and flipping them. Like I'd build the site and get it to, I don't know, $100,000 a month, and then you flip it to somebody else who wants to buy it. I haven't done that in a while, but I buy digital properties, any kind of digital asset that you have. What you want to understand is, how many buy buttons do you have? People are like, I'm going to go ahead and, do you understand when you go to eBay and you put your eBay auction up, eBay sends the customers to you. So if you have one buy button for your auction, it'll probably sell. Something will sell. But if you have a site, if you put a website up and you're like, hi, I'm this person and here's my buy button, get this one buy button. If you only have one buy button, it's hard for you to sell. You're competing with billions of people. Good morning, Jane, said someone. Front end work, back end rewards. That's right. Front end work and back end rewards. So numbers are only the results of the work you did, not a representation of what will happen for others. Thank you for that, Sean. Thank you for that. I really want to be clear here. Sean said that I work and it's 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Right now, this is my fun part of my day. I know you guys are like, what happened to her eyeball? It's so swollen. Well, I had some wheat and I'm very allergic to it. And this is what happens with it. I'm okay. It'll be all right. Talking my religion, but then you knew that. Oh, Barb, you're cracking me up. Barb and I think very much alike. So she said, talking my religion, but then you knew that. I did. That's true. Sean, #true. Numbers are only the results of the work you did, not a representation of what will happen for others. Yes. And I want to talk about that. Like right now, the best skill set I have is giving my best work 100%. That means no matter what, like this is kind of sore and tender, but I'm here giving it my all. You know what I'm saying? I want to deliver every single time. I want to deliver in a way that's easy. Now, I want to tell you something. You do not have to have a lot of money to start to get a lot of money. You have to have a lot of drive. You have to have a lot of integrity. You have to have a lot of work ethic. You have to have a lot of ingenuity. You have to know what you're doing. Most people, they buy a concept or a skill set. People go and they're like, well, you know what? I'll learn SEO, or I'll learn to do Facebook ads. And they have one skill set. How many skill sets? So when I learned to write, the first thing I did was learn to write an article. And I wrote hundreds of them first. Then I was introduced to Ray Edwards, who is one of the best copywriters. And I studied with Ray Edwards for 10 years before I did my own copy. I had him tear my work apart in public on the coaching calls when everybody was listening. I put my work in front of him and I'd get nailed every time, move this, do this, do this. And I breathed that in. I had editors. I'm not kidding. I had editors that came by the first book I wrote, and they were polite. They didn't just yell it from the room. They walked over and they whispered in my ear and they said, Vickie. And I was like, yes. And they said, I'm going to teach you where the spell check button is on Word. And if you don't use it, I'm going to quit. And I was like, okay. So, I was so bad. I didn't even know where the spell check button was. So there's beginning. You have to let yourself suck at it before you build. But no matter what, you've got to get to the point where you know how to build your money. How do you build your income streams? Not what do you do? It's like, how do you do? The strategy by which you do anything is going to give you the results you want out of life. So I literally spent, and I know Robin's laughing because she had to put up with me when I was emotional and thinking that I sucked at everything and, telling me shift your attitude, never give up, keep going, keep going, keep going. So you have to kind of learn how to do this. And I love to learn. I don't know about you, but I love to learn. And I love to learn about other people's skill sets. I love to learn what other people do, because what is it that you're doing when you put buy buttons up? You're monetizing You're monetizing. Everybody's like, well, how do you how do you do monetization? Make a great product, put everything up with your best efforts, with your best everything. Make that buy button, make lots of them. Don't make one site, make 2 or 3 sites. Don't make it so that you have to do all the work. I mean, you set it up. It's front end work. I do the front load, front end work, back end prosperity. Front end work, back end prosperity. And the prosperity things that I make are evergreen. They're relevant. People want them. If you don't do that, your buy buttons are just going to be buy buttons. Some people are so hooked at learning. They learned one time that they should do their passion, that they won't do anything else. They keep trying to make that one passion, that one thing that they do, make them $1 million. Well, I get it. But if you take a look at the billionaires, let's take a look at Oprah, because everyone knows Oprah. Oprah doesn't have one skill set. She had to learn newscasting. She had to learn reporting. She had to learn leadership skills. She had to learn interviewing skills. She just kept learning and learning and learning her way to success. She bolstered her skill set. So the first person somebody wanted on their team was Oprah. Oprah was like, yes, I'll take your project. Oprah said she wanted to work with me on this project. I'll work on this project with Oprah. You've got to deliver what you say you're going to deliver with the excellence. If you deliver crap and it's a joint venture, they're going to remember you forever and you're out. The second somebody says, yeah, I did a great joint venture with you, your income will explode. Tons of people will say, work with me, get this done. You'll get 50%. I'll get 50%. It's all good. And I'm like, front end money with 50% until it just keeps going and going and going. That's the beauty of working this together. I want to stop and say hello. Barb says, so much alike. I'm beginning to feel reincarnated and I've not earned my wings for this time around yet. I know, right? Barb, it's so funny. I'm telling you, she's definitely my sister from another mother. Sean says, sell the results, not the process. People buy what they want to have, not how they will get it. Yes. That's the beauty of having the buy button. When there's a whole strategy behind this, I'm giving you the overview. This is how I've created my money. I bolstered my skill sets. I bolstered my leadership skill sets. I made a lot of buy buttons, ethical, strong, important. I want this so badly buy buttons. This right here, the buy buttons, this is a class all in itself. Then you go ahead and you have to know how to seek out opportunities. Now, I have sought out opportunities. Good morning, Kelly Sings. Nice to see you, my friend. Hey, Robert, love this. I have gotten to the point where I've gotten bit in the butt. I'm going to tell you, not everything goes 100% correct with me. Sometimes there are some boo-boos and some hurt feelings, and I've cried, and then I've had my victories, the dance, and everything else. But I want to tell you, I'll be writing a book about how to do all of these things soon. That's coming out. Joint venture coming. That's right. Sean and I are going to be doing a joint venture. That's going to be exciting. Robert Stern, don't make your buy buttons the buy button. Yes, that's right. You have to do it ethically. You have to do it with integrity. You have to keep your strategy in front of you. That hashtag is a keeper. I get it too. Let's see. Glad you're here, Kelly, said Karen. Courageous. Congrats, Kelly. That's right. Kelly, congratulations. You made it to platinum. I'm so impressed. I'm so proud. Thank you. By the way, your dress was killer, by the way. Killer. I meant to type that in there, but I was using the phone. And okay, back in the bowl. So now we're going to go get this done. What I want to say to you right now is not trying to, because I know that you can look at this and just look at what I did. It's all there. But what I want you to do isn't look at what I did. I want you to look at what you can do. What can you do? So in the same vein as the cash flow quadrant, sit down and write your skill sets, your opportunities, your buy button, and your investments. You want to, one of the most powerful things you can do in your wellness, financial wellness thing, is become a really excellent joint venture partner. Know when something is ripe for the market, totally ripe for the market. If it's ripe for the market and the team you're doing it with is good, you will make a boatload of money. Full stop. Now, to me, I have all of this down pat. And I am a free agent. I go where the opportunity is best, the one I like, the one that feeds my soul, feeds my heart. I work with people who serve people. Now, listen to me. I want you to listen. If you hear nothing else today, I want you to listen to this one fact. If you want to make money, you have to work with the people who serve people. If you work with the people who are serving people, not trying to pitch them, not trying to screw them, not trying to sell them, it means you have to know what their intention is before you get there. It doesn't matter whether it's medicine or real estate or law or whatever it is. Somebody's intention to change an industry for the better of humanity, somebody who is willing to go out there and help somebody with their health, help somebody with their wealth, help somebody with their relationship. If you help the person who is serving, you will have a passive income long term. So when I write a book, there are buy buttons in the book, but they're done with humility. You don't want to like, hi, buy this, get this process. You don't want to pitch fest. You want to give really strong, good, powerful information with a link that provides them deeper information so they can meet you, know you, like you, trust you, and jump into your funnel and have their needs be met. Their needs be met, not yours. Do you meet their needs? Are you helping the server help another server who helps a server? That way, more people get helped. And the perfection in this whole thing is once your skill sets are really great there, once you get that, you have more opportunities and you can be completely anonymous. Like, yes, I speak on stage. I've spoke on stage with Joel Comm, with Ken MacArthur, with Armin Morin, with all the big names in the industry. I've spoke there and I still have a good sense of anonymity with me. What do you want to change in the world? And maybe you don't think you're smart enough. Maybe you don't think you're good enough. I don't care. You can think whatever you want. Let your mind think whatever you want. Just do the process. Just do the process relentlessly. Your mind, if it's negative, it'll go away when the first time, even if you make a book. So the first book I made sucked. It's like the least great book. But my 40th book is 1,000 times better than my very first book. But there's only one thing you need to know. I never stop making a book. I'm not like, oh, here's my one book. You can write more books, get more done. So what happens is your opportunities and your buy buttons, if they're strategically done, and you look for really powerful opportunities and you become the person that everybody wants to work with, you can go ahead and build digital properties. You can build brick and mortar properties. You can do whatever on the back end with them and have passive income for life. Passive income trickling in. Now, I do not depend on one single site to do everything for me. I think that's too stressful, and then I have to market all the time. What I do is I look for really good opportunities that are right in the place. I don't do more than 7 because about 7, I'm overwhelmed because that's 7 meetings, 7 teams, and I'm usually the leader or at least one of the top leaders of the 7 teams I work with. When something is complete, when something is done. So for instance, when we sold the ice cream store, we sold it to this really lovely young couple. And they were just starting their career and they have this whole complete business. There's pizza and et cetera. And of course, in Colorado, it's Colorado. So there's a little weed in the back or something. I don't know. It's doing its thing. It's doing it legally, but it's its own business. But when that is sold, you get this sense of completion. And when that sense of completion is, you don't have to, you can love the team you're with. And if that sense of completion is there and everybody takes a little time off and somebody comes back up and says, I got another good project for us. And you're like, yeah, I'm in. You work well with them because you already know who they are. You already know their skill sets. You already know their temperaments. It's such an easy thing at that point. And you can start choosing the people that you actually want to work with. And I want to tell you this, everyone is capable of this. I was not a great student. I remember having 4 D's and an F in 9th grade in my school years. I wasn't great at college when I went. I was an average student. I have a lot of chutzpah and a lot of drive. I have a lot of love, and I don't like to see suffering in the world. And so when I see suffering, I see an opportunity to ease it. And when you can ease suffering, really truthfully, honestly, including your own, including you, then you will have made a lot of money. And money is like not the root of all evil. Money is the root of all possibility. Money is the root of all change. Money is the root of all connection a lot of times. Money is a powerful tool. Whether it's used for negative or positive has a lot to do with who you are, not what money is. So I befriend money. I love money. Money helps me give peer-to-peer lending. Money, I support the charities I want to support. I can give away what I want to give away. Now, I want to tell you something. Just because you build all of these things doesn't mean you're not going to go through rough patches. Like I still see the stock market and my cryptos and my stock market and my cryptos. And sometimes I'm cash flush. And sometimes I'm cash, oh, I better, watch this. I have liquidity ratios as well. So today I tried to give you as much as I could about what I do. This is a whole weekend seminar. This whole thing is a book, a product, a seminar, which I'll, gladly put out as soon as it's being done, built. But I want to let you know, go to VickieHelm.com. Just go to VickieHelm.com and look around. Notice how the buy buttons are put there. Notice that there's a lot of things to buy that are really, really, in my opinion, the top of the line. But what I want to say to you is you can have that too. If you only have one buy button and only one product, you're only doing one thing, you're broke. You have to do multiple things. So that's what I have for you today. And I just want to come over here and say hello. Vickie can't help herself. Almost everything is an opportunity to write a book. Ha, ha, ha. That was funny. You think, said Karen. She's prolific and a great example of seeing opportunities. Thank you. Thank you. Money is just energy. That's correct. It is, Robin. Karen says, someone once told me that the only difference between millionaires and the rest of the world is that millionaires see opportunities, $1,000 bills on the ground. Yes. VickieHelm.com. Thank you for putting that there. Design your wealth building. It's like designing a garden. Where are you going to put your wealth building? That's all we're going to talk about. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Mwah! Peace out. Talk to you later. Bye.